Leadership power orchestrates the evolutionary systems of growing service driven enterprises. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter, and we will wait a few more moments for our the rest of our audience, live audience, to join us today, and then we'll get started. And that's usually our custom anyway, isn't it? Let's see. Okay, we've got a couple of things here. Um, Looks like we're just about ready to begin. So I'm going to get our slides up there and ready to get expanded upon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. In our 14 or so minutes of time together, we will look at ways and learn how to elegantly order, efficiently organize, and effectively orchestrate the evolutionary forces of that social system or human-based enterprise that we all know as our organization. So let's begin our adventure. As the words of this song instructs us, we have to take comfort that there may be quakes, tumults, shakings, alterations, and changes which happen to and inside and all around the earth, to its mountains or oceans and rivers, yet our God, Supreme Being, Higher Power, or Almighty Lord assures us that we must not let fear or terror enter our minds and hearts. Yes, God assures us that He alone is that source of our power, ability, strength, and might. He is the provider of those places where we can be sheltered and take refuge from any storm, conflict, or catastrophe. In short, our world will always be changing. However, God, our source and provider of all supernatural order and our metaphysical power and the divine principles, God will never change. What must leaders use to orchestrate new growth and better service? We have to see and envision the possibilities, opportunities, and problems that are within our imaginations and our fields of perception. For example, is that river clean and useful for carrying goods or people? Could we build or float a platform or dock to place and load those goods and people onto boats or barges? But before we can ask and answer any of those or other questions, our first source and provider of refuge and power will need to come from information. Why do leaders need rich sources and ample providers of information? Because the energies that all social environments, social systems, and social actors use and require and distribute are information based things. Those social energies are biological because those social energies are the life giving, life sustaining, and life regenerating forces which propel the social acts, niche areas, such as our industrial sectors or medical and legal professions, and our organizations, teams, and communities. Here's a sample model of some of the energy flows occurring into and out of a typical ecosystem. You and I would call this system an organization that is engaged in commerce or business, which exchanges or transacts information or ideas with customers, has sales personnel who meet with and learns about the needs and desires of those customers, uses an accounting subsystem to control information about its expenses and tabulate data on its revenues, and produces or manufactures goods based upon the informed requests and requirements of its customers. In short, Some of these information based energy flows are exported out from the organization, some are shared within the ecosystem, and others are imported into that enterprise. If you wish to tune up, tinker with, or turbocharge and transform the growth engine of your own enterprise, you might use an evaluation of those flows or forces of information like the one seen on this slide. The engine of growth in most organizations include their operational, market or business and product or service development systems. Instead, Instead of looking at your information as data or knowledge artifacts, this criteria would help you make or better organize and order any value oriented judgments about the impacts of information. Since we began by asking about leadership power, we should understand what your power actually consists of. In other words, your own power to influence, inspire, and instruct people will evolve when you are able to act in such a way as to achieve the results you desire. When you possess and can use your natural talents, you will evolve when you can use the strengths of your character, your emotional and psychological or spiritual intelligence to persevere and break through any barriers, and you will evolve when you do use your intuitive, imaginative, and perceptual faculties and facilities to creatively conceive or perceive reality in a clear, correct, and concise manner. Your applications of leadership power must enable you to fulfill one or more of these three general missions. To effectively gauge and assess the true impacts of your power, just ask yourself questions like these. Are your actions producing improvements in people, performances, process, or products? Are you making inroads or opening up doorways into better understanding and comprehension of your challenges, problems, or opportunities? Are you shaping and crafting new or more practical innovations? This case system contains four energy events, which are information based, affecting actions and behaviors that move information from person to person and place to place. Leaders need to ensure that their channeling of information does not affect the quality, fidelity, or vitality of the information. The case system helps you amplify or expand upon or enlarge or clarify the information being transmitted or received by you. When you ask questions, investigate the details, or examine the validity, veracity, or value of that information. The case system focuses, hones, and pinpoints the bulk and massive blocks of information you have to offer or accept down to its finest distilled essential aspects and character. It is why the big data movement has so much currency in the executive suites of today's large corporations. We have plenty, indeed too much information. We need to find ways to clearly identify the trends, patterns of choice or behavior, and imperative truths that's hiding in all that data. The case system encourages leaders to find every way possible to endow, adorn, improve, or enrich each transmission and reception of information as abundantly wealth producing, value enhancing, and highly significant as you possibly can. You should always try to connect the dots, put every bit of data into context, and relate information to personal preferences and tendencies. Finally, you can specify exactly what, where, why, and how using the case system of channeling, amplifying, sharpening, and enriching your information flows can help you achieve delightful results like these each and every day. The case system of leadership practice will help your organization to better communicate, discover new things, fully engage with your priorities, and employ the 5 M's of superior performances. We quickly explored ways leaders can organize, and orchestrate the robustness, evolutionary forces, and healthy growth of their enterprises through their services of mission based power distributions, case system activities and informational impact, social energy assessments and evaluations. Your mission, then, if you choose to accept it, is this: make optimizing a highly evolved, growth oriented, service driven social system the primary purpose of all of your leadership actions. This ends today's lesson. You are looking at the catalog of materials, training, and coaching support which are featured in my Leadership Power Paradigms Producer Tools program. You can see that this program is designed to dramatically improve your leadership performances and use your leadership strengths to comprehensively empower the achievements of your people. Right now, this program is available to you at my lowest possible price, so I urge you to visit the webpage at www.one-iam.com/LPP tools, or just click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button that you see on the right side of your page. And when you do click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button on the right side of your page, you will be taken to a new browser tab or new browser window, so you won't lose your place on the webinar as you're listening to that, because I have your bonus gifts for you, and so you won't lose any of that if you just click on that button. And if you like what you read on that page later on, go ahead and get going now. And don't forget that I offer my famous no questions asked, no risk to you money back guarantee for this program, so you really have nothing to lose by enrolling now in this awesome educational program. And while you're clicking on that button, and I know that most of you are, and for those of you who have to type it in, just open up a new browser tab on your own and just type in the www.one-im.com/LPP tools. That's right there in the middle of this slide. And I'm going to run back over to my control panel. And in doing so, I'll be able to then send you guys the two bonus gifts that I have for you. So if you just give me a quick moment while I'm doing that, and I think in most cases you guys should be able to see most of that. Let's see. And there we go. I've just uploaded to the chat area. If you look on the right side of your screen, you'll also see the links to the two bonus gifts that I have for you. The first bonus gift is the 5 Leadership Uplifter Tasks infographic. It is an infographic, but it is a PDF in PDF format. So it's designed to help you to just well, let me put it this way. Firstly, you'll need to download it to your computer, and then when you do, since it is a PDF document, just print it out. It's on one sheet of paper. It'll fit on one sheet of paper, and take that sheet of paper, put it on your desk or put it on a wall, and that way you can refer to it as you go throughout your day, performing your leadership tasks. And I always say that if you're performing one or more of those tasks each time you act as a leader, then you will see your effectiveness be improved and increased. And if you're not performing one or more of those tasks, then you probably won't be very effective as a leader when you perform that particular activity. Okay. Um, and the second gift that I have for you is the 8-page Words with Wisdom paper. It is 8 pages. It also is a PDF document. And a lot of people like to print out, PDF documents. They're real easy to print out. I would suggest that you do so, and that way you'll be able to write on it and, take your own little notes. It contains many of the strategies and concepts and principles and techniques and tips that we have covered in either today's episode of Leadership Power Paradigms or in our previous episodes of Leadership Power Paradigms, I should say. So you've got something good there as well. That's a nice resource for you. And again, you won't have to do any signing up for that. Just right click and download them, or put them into a browser window and take them and download them that way too. Okay, good. So now, I'm not seeing any questions from the live audience, but I would encourage you, if you're watching the webinar replay recording, to simply type in on the right-hand side. You'll see a question box. Just type in your question or your comment, anything to do with leadership or management, any question or comment about leadership or management, and click on the email us button. And a couple of things are going to happen. Number one is, because you had to register or sign in to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms, we already know what your name is, we know what your email address is, and it will, my system will forward your name and your email address, so you don't have to type that in at all. Okay, you don't even have to sign your name to it, because I'll know who you are. And that way you can type in a good question or a comment. And then the other thing is when you press the email us button, it will come right to my inbox, and I will read it, and I'll say, okay, I think I have some ideas of how to answer this question or respond to your comment. And I will type out a full answer for you. Okay, so that's a great way to get some free information, some free advice as well. So okay, with all of that said, I'm going to say I appreciate each and every one of you for attending the live or the replay recording. And I look forward to seeing you in our future episodes of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas. I've been your host and presenter for today's episode. God bless each and every one of you. Godspeed to you all. And I wish you all the very best of success in all of your leadership endeavors. Take care.